Cougar Nation, welcome back to another interview here. Today I am blessed to be interviewing Rebekah Ripley. Hello.
Hi. That's me.
So Rebekah is a gymnast.
Yep.
On our BYU gymnastics team, and a floor specialist.
And vault.
And vault.
Both, yes.
And vault. That's so cool. I keep because every time on ESPN they always have gymnastics going every now and then.
Yeah.
So I'm looking, I'm like, it's just incredible.
Oh
There's
my
little
gosh,
monkeys just going
you.
back and forth. And, you
You're
got
so
the
nice.
2 bars and stuff. It's so cool.
I don't do that one. That one's crazy.
But I mean, you gotta have just mad grip strength for anything.
Kinda. Mostly for the bars though. I
Yeah.
feel like I don't need to grip the floor.
But then, so the beam, that's the 6-inch, or is it smaller?
4 inches.
4 inches.
Crazy.
4-inch bar. I see you guys doing backflips on those and stuff.
Thanks.
That's wildly impressive. Congratulations for being
Thank you.
at your place right now.
Appreciate it.
So gymnastics is kind of, it's kind of an interesting sport, unique, I feel like. And
hard.
And hard.
Yeah.
And so how did you kind of get your grips into gymnastics?
Just my parents. They put me in when I was a little kid, and that was pretty much it. I loved gymnastics. All growing up, I just loved every single part of it. A lot of kids will, the parents will put them in it, and then they'll kind of push them to keep going. My parents never had to do that because I was like, I just want to go to practice. I want to go do gymnastics. But yeah, so it's always been fun.
I did tumbling when I was 6.
That's fun. That's fun.
Basically the same thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
I could do back handspring.
Yeah.
That was also a decade ago.
Impressive.
Over that. Yeah. So you said your family, your parents put you in it. Were they gymnasts?
Yeah. My mom did cheerleading in high school, and then my dad actually ran track at BYU, which is cool. But no gymnastics specifically. Maybe a little bit.
Did they meet at BYU?
They did meet at BYU. Yeah.
That's how it goes.
That is how it goes, and here I am now. I guess I didn't meet my husband at BYU, but got married at BYU.
That's how it goes. I met my wife at BYU.
Yeah.
That's just generations that are always going through. So what about your siblings? Tell me a little bit more about your family. Are they athletes as well?
Yes. So it's actually funny. A lot of people that I've known have said that we have what's called the bean gene, which is just being bouncy. So all my brothers, everybody's kind of crazy in our family. My dad does American Ninja Warrior, which is cool. My mom teaches yoga. My brother's an extreme sportist, and so he does like everything from biking to skateboarding, cliff jumping, everything. And my 2 younger brothers, they do football and soccer and all that good stuff. So I definitely come from a family with athletics, which is fun.
Where do you fit in that?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest?
Yeah, so I'm the oldest and the only girl, and I have 3 younger brothers.
How old are they?
So the one closest to me is 20, and then there's another one that's 16, and then the youngest is 13.
13?
Yeah.
Do you feel like they've supported you throughout your career?
Oh my gosh, so much. And even just our last competition, they all came and they're all holding the signs, we're proud of you, and giving me hugs after. They've super supportive. It's awesome.
So I'm not super familiar with gymnastics and kind of the way that it kind of goes. Because, for sports like basketball or volleyball or things like that, you have high school and then you have club.
Yeah,
and
totally.
So is it what's the equivalent of that for gymnastics? Is it a club?
High school gymnastics doesn't really exist.
Okay.
It's only club gymnastics. So club, and it's also, you could call it JO gymnastics. It's Junior Olympic.
Okay.
And then you pretty much just do that, and then you'll either go to the Olympics if you want to, or you'll do a different path and do levels 1 through 10, and then you'll get recruited to be in college.
Okay. What was the recruitment process like for you?
It was actually super interesting because I came from a really small gym in St. George, and they hadn't really had anybody get to college from that gym. Mm-hmm. And so they didn't know a ton about the recruiting process. It was kind of a learning curve for all of us, but I've always been a BYU fan. Parents went to BYU, my grandparents went to BYU. Like you said, it's a generational thing. And so anyways, always loved BYU, and I went to a BYU camp, and they offered me a scholarship there. And that was kind of it. I ended up switching gyms my senior year, and that was awesome too. And there were some other schools that had reached out, but Cougar strong. Cougar in my heart.
What other schools were interested in you?
I talked to SUU and I think Utah State. I'm not really sure, honestly. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Because that was 5 years ago?
Yeah. That's when I came here.
Yeah.
I've been here so long. So the recruitment was when I was a sophomore. So I was oh my gosh, 8 years ago. I feel so old.
No, don't worry. And so, floor routine. Yes. How do you end up doing that? Because it's cool. I see it on the videos all the time. It's it's super neat. But how did you kind of get drawn to it?
Floor in general?
Yeah.
I love tumbling. I don't know, it's just really fun. And also the main thing probably is I love performing. That's like, I love attention. I love everybody looking at me. I love being like the center of attention. And so that's the funnest thing about floor. Honestly, that's the funnest thing about gymnastics is like, you know, they announce your name and you're the only person on that event performing. Everybody's watching you and there's no feeling like it. But floor especially, you know, you get to dance, you get to smile, you get to put on a show. Yeah, it's really fun.
What age did you find doing floor was one of your favorites?
I think always. It's always been one of my favorites. I love tumbling and I love, everything about it.
And then with vault, right?
Yes.
Okay. So with vault, what age did they kind of put you into that?
You kind of, when you first start, you kind of just always do all of it. But I mean, obviously when you're 3 years old, you're not running down the vault and doing all that. But I guess once I started getting more into actual gymnastics, I guess, is, you know, you always do all four, is they'll have you train all that. Yeah.
What are the other two?
So there's floor, vault, beam, and bars.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did all four.
You picked your two and like...
Kind of. I mean, I did all four all throughout high school, and then I was actually training as an all-arounder at BYU as well. But I've had a lot of knee surgeries, and once it came down to it, you know, my main goal was to compete again, and I wanted to make sure that my body could get through a season and we could get through doing a lot of gymnastics, because gymnastics is so hard on your body. And so ultimately I just, you know, picked the two that made me the happiest and that I felt I was the best at, and it's worked out in my favor. I've had an actual season this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're going to go a little bit more into that in our next segment.
Cool.
Cougar Nation, thanks for watching our first part here. Be sure to stick around for part 2 with Rebekah, because we're just touching the tip of the iceberg. A lot more, so be sure to stick around for part 2. Thank you for watching this interview. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss the other 2 parts of this interview, plus all of our other interviews we do with BYU athletes. We also like to give a special thanks to our Cougar Board insiders for making this possible.